J Johnston has been released from jail. This is news that I received last night, and now I'm sharing it with you this morning. Kevin has been released. There is a clip on this, Mr. Engineer. If you could allow us to see this screen here, thank you very much. Let's see what they have to say about this. City News probably crying in their pants right now at the fact that he has been released, because really nobody knew what he was arrested on, and this arrest was most likely illegal. We don't know yet, but most likely. Let's see what they have to say.
A mayoral candidate and pastor who were both arrested over the weekend for alleged.
The pastor is Tim Stevens. We made a video on him when I said that Canada will be cursed by God the same way God has cursed Zionist Israel. God will curse Canada for its treatment of Christian pastors, preventing them from observing the Sabbath, which is God's command, just like it's God's command that the Holy Land be shared between all three main Abrahamic religions, not just the Jews. And that's why God has cursed Zionist Israel with violence. Canada will also be cursed because of the treatment of Christian pastors, Tim Stevens, Fildebrand, and Coates, and all these guys. So let's continue here.
Violating the public health measures. A mayoral candidate and pastor who were both arrested over the weekend for allegedly violating the public health measures are being released from jail. Kevin J Johnston was arrested.
Listen to the way she said that. Her voice dropped when she said release. She's like, former mayoral candidate has been released from jail. Let's rewind that here. Let me rewind.
A mayoral candidate and pastor who were both arrested over the weekend for allegedly violating the public health measures are being released from jail.
Listen to the way she said, have been released from jail. A mayoral candidate and a pastor who were arrested for violating blah, 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 have been released from jail. I'm going to rewind that one more time. And by the way, I don't want to hear no comments about, oh, you rewind too much. I'm going to rewind 10 more times. Now say something. Let me see.
A mayoral candidate and pastor who were both arrested over the weekend for allegedly violating the public health measures are being released from jail.
Damn right.
Kevin J Johnston was arrested on Saturday after police claim he was violating a court order by attending an illegal gathering. The Court of Queen's Bench had imposed a restraining order on Johnston last week, which requires him to stay at least 100 meters away from health officers. Tim Stevens was arrested yesterday after organizing a church service in Southeast Calgary. Both men will be back in court June 16th to deal with contempt of court proceedings.
Go to hell with your contempt of court. If you are arrested for observing the Sabbath, which is one of the 10 commandments, let me pull this up for you guys. Observing the Sabbath and also attending a free speech rally, those are the best things you could ever be arrested for. Observe the Sabbath. Observe. Let me pull this up. Let me pull this up for you, because I'm talking about Pastor Tim Stevens. Remember the Sabbath and to remember the Sabbath day and to keep it holy. That is one of the 10 commandments found in the Hebrew Bible. The full text of the commandment reads, remember the Sabbath day and to keep it holy. 6 days you shall labor and do all your work, but the seventh day, which is the Sabbath day, is the Sabbath of the Lord of your God, no matter what. So Tim Stevens is doing what God has commanded, and no earthly power, none can tell him otherwise. None. And if you disobey that commandment because you're afraid you'll be arrested or fined, you'll receive a worse punishment in the afterlife, worse than any prison, worse than any lynching, worse than any fine. You will receive a worse punishment because you have disobeyed God, and God rules over all of these earthly powers. Now back to Kevin. He has been released and he will be waging all-out war. I don't know what's. I think that Jason Kenney was behind this. It's very odd that Jason Kenney just popped out of the woodwork to give his 2 cents on Kevin J Johnston after he was arrested. I think they're doing everything they can to try and stop him from winning. But it's funny that Kevin's name is really the only name that's circulating out there as to people running for mayor of Calgary, because the current mayor of Calgary, Naheed Nenshi, has chickened out. He said he's not doing it anymore. He's gone. The brother's gone. Now, Kevin had a good chance of beating him too, but he's gone. And now, unlike the Mississauga race where you had Bonnie Crombie, who's everybody knew who she, I knew who she, everybody knew who she was, and Kevin was just popping up. I knew who he was from a long time ago, but he was just beginning to pop up, but he was no match for this big name figure and all of the tools in her disposal to slander him, even though he did well and got a second place, even though it was far behind, but still second place. Kevin's name is the only name that's circulating in the Calgary mayoral race. Nobody knows who the hell, anybody, who else is running for mayor of Calgary. I don't know. Ever since Naheed's gone, and that scares the living daylights out of Jason Kenney and the New World Order. That's the Canadian chapter of the New World Order. That scares the crap out of them, and they're going to do what they can to make sure he doesn't win. I don't know. I don't know whether he'll win. I hope he does. Or knock on wood. Praise God. But they're going to do everything like it. This is hardcore. I mean, the fact that it took. I mean, my mind is still going through gymnastics, figuring out what he was arrested for. Okay, so my conclusion is that he was arrested for attending a public rally, a protest. Well, as far as I'm concerned, that is I mean, for you to be arrested, Calgary, can I tell you something, Calgary? If you're mayoral, you need to really listen to me when I say this. You have the opportunity to vote into power a candidate who is willing to go to jail to fight for your freedoms. Now, that doesn't come along that often. It's very rare that we get a politician who is willing to go to jail. Jail. I mean, you got these politicians. I will lower your taxes. I will do this. Freedom isn't free. They talk, but the moment someone puts a big wad of money in their face or even threatens them in the slightest bit, they fall in line quick. Everybody, even people like Trump, who everybody jumps up and down for, who I like, but even him. But Kevin has been willing to go to jail for fighting for freedom, by attending a freedom rally. So Calgary, you're in a lucky position. I would support somebody who's willing to go to jail to fight for your freedom. Jail, that's the ultimate. I mean, the next thing is to be killed. But I mean, jail, and he's released. And they're going to probably try to send him back again. They're going to find anything. I mean, if Kevin does anything, if he spits, if he litters, they're going to find, because they don't want him to run his campaign properly. But this has just put him in the spotlight now. His name is everywhere. He is the only known candidate in Calgary. Not saying that it's going to secure his chances of winning, but he's got a good chance. He's got good, knock on wood. And Calgary, I just have to say, you've got the opportunity. I mean, look at the things that they're even saying about, the fact that he's going to have the ability to have the information of all Calgarians just because he is running for mayor, just like every mayoral candidate gets. All the mayoral candidates have the information of voters. That's just how it is. But CBC is so concerned about the fact that this so-called racist mayoral candidate, their words, they're just condemning him without, innocent until proven guilty. That's thrown out the window. He's about to have the Calgary voters' names and addresses. Oh my goodness, the same privilege that all mayoral candidates since time immemorial get so that they can call potential voters and canvass them. That's the privilege of anybody running for office. Oh, this man might have all their names. They are focused on little old Kevin J. Johnston. They are focused on him. They're focused on him because he has a good chance. His name is out there. His name is the only one. When you think of the next Calgary mayoral election, the name you think of is Kevin. Who else is running? I don't know who else is running out there. Do you? Who else is out there? Who else's name is out there? I don't know. Maybe y'all in Calgary know. I don't know. I think Larry Heather is also running, but I mean, and I respect Larry Heather, a good Christian guy, trying to bring morals back to Canada, which has been thrown out the window ever since the 60s, and Larry Heather's trying to bring them back. But I mean, let's face it, Larry has run for mayor several times and he hasn't gotten anywhere. So, and I don't know, is Larry Heather willing to go to jail for your freedoms? I mean, I'm not attacking. I respect Larry. He's a good moral guy. I mean, you rarely ever see somebody running for politics in Canada who's got a moral fiber and they're about to Christianity and openly talks about it. But I mean, at the end of the day, Kevin has just gone to jail. Jail, one of the worst places you could be because he's trying to fight for freedom. Now that's somebody people have to get behind. Anyway, he's been released. We'll see what happens. Tried to get him on the phone. I'm sure he's probably very tired right now, but we will be. I have spoken to him last night. I actually called into his show, but we will be speaking to Kevin very soon. This is your